we are starting now. Make sure that you understand the scope of the question well. So like the question I asked on polymetallic nodules, the question was not on polymetallic nodules. It basically was on the exploration and its significance. If you look at the question number 1B, the question was on discuss the significance of PMN exploration. Now, I guess most of you would have made a mistake if you had focused only on writing on what are PMN, how are they formed, and where are they found. Okay, so there are two parts. One is discussing PMN, the other is discussing the significance of PMN. So if you have missed the significance part, you will have a problem in scoring in this question. It was not about what is PMN, where is it found, how is it formed. This should have been probably as a part of a short note. Another question where you probably could have made a mistake is the question on OTEC. Okay, and question number 1E. Look up this question number 1E. 1E was asking you about what is the significance of OTEC for India. Again, it's possible that you probably went into explaining what OTEC is without focusing on the significance of OTEC. Significance of OTEC is part of energy security, it is part of some regional development of the coast. The significance is part of understanding the environmental issues related to other types of energy exploration. Think of tidal plants, think of wave plants, think of fossil fuel-based energy, whereas OTEC can be a cleaner source if you look at that. So these are examples where if you have missed the key words of the question, you might have had a problem. Okay, so this is the first step, understand the question. Now, once the question is done, the second very important aspect is how do you structure the question or answer rather, structure the answer. So there is a format I had suggested that in the answer, try having an introduction. The introduction could be a small definition. The introduction could be something about some data or facts. In the introduction, at least try explaining the concept. Say the OTEC question was asked. You could have attempted to explain the OTEC in 2 or 3 lines rather than write the entire answer on OTEC. So that's introduction. Try squeezing in a diagram always. It could be some map, it could be some sketch, it could be a schematic, and then you move on towards the body. Now, this is an important part why this starts the answer logically and also gives you confidence that you can handle the entire paper. If this is where you make a mistake, developing the answer generally becomes a bit more difficult. And while discussing the body, try bringing in some geographical ideas or geography related ideas. Talk about some geography terms. Wherever possible, bring in the regional context. Wherever possible, try to give examples and case studies about some locations. So those who have not written answers, you could follow this pattern more or less. So try using geographical terms, bring a regional perspective, use examples and case studies. You could analyze as in you could talk about what are the factors, what are the positives if required, negatives if required, and so on. And finally, you could attempt the conclusion. In the conclusion, I suggest 2-3 ways how to conclude an answer. The conclusions can include solution. Conclusions can be summaries. Conclusions could be futuristic, telling us what could be the issue in the future, or the conclusions could also be some applied aspect and preferably linked to India. Some applied aspect. Say you're talking about, say, polymetallic nodules. Of course, the question itself was about India, but you could try, if not, you could have tried specifically in India what is being done. There was a question about intrazonal soils. So you could specifically mention in India, what are the intrazonal soils? You could wind that up in terms of the significance and importance. We had a question about ocean pollution. So shift the answer towards what is the extent of pollution along the Indian coasts, the extent of pollution in India's EEZ, and maybe what we can do about how to manage the pollution. So you could take up any of this, or you could have a combination of these four things together. So just summarizing what I said, okay. The structure of the answer, I'm repeatedly stressing on this. Those who have not been part of the classes, so I have told the others, but you could listen to this a bit more and write this down please somewhere. By the way, I insist all of you should be making notes as I speak here, as I write here, okay? The structuring of the answer includes, there should be an introduction. The introduction could be a definition, it could be some data or facts. The introduction could be explaining the concept in brief. Like say, you had the question on soil catenna. Okay, I'll start with it. You could explain in brief, what do you mean by soil catenna? So you had a question on polymetallic nodules. So a very quick short discussion or sentence on that polymetallic nodules are nodule potato-like deposits on the ocean floor. They are the products of precipitation inside the oceans in the deep abyssal plains. That's enough to have a logical beginning. So some definition or some explanation, okay? Or you could also try some data or facts. So data facts are very impressive beginnings when you're dealing with problems of development, poverty, environment. So you have a lot of data here on issues of poverty, on issues of employment, issues of development, agriculture issues. These could use a lot of data. Even environment issues could be around a lot of data. So more or less, okay, this is how you structure the question. How long should the conclusion introduction be? Okay, now I had suggested that you all follow. If you have seen the instructions I posted earlier, this is what I had suggested. So what should be the length of the answer? Okay, so a 10 or 15 mark question should not be more than 2 pages, preferably 1.5 page. Okay. 1.5 page is right, but 2 pages is fine. 20 and 25 mark question, preferably not more than 3 pages. So basically what I'm doing is, I'm looking at the approximate words. Okay, a 10 mark question, a 15 mark question has to be written in about, say, 150 to 180 words. Okay, preferably, okay, 150, 130 odd words. So this kind of words, 2 pages are enough. On average, we write about 70 to 80 words in a page. So that's good enough. 200 to 250 marks question should be approximately around 200 to 230 or 250 words. 250 to 30 words, okay, you can easily write in about 3 pages. And even if they ask you a 30 mark question, I'll say keep it around 3.5 page. None of your answers should cross 3.5 page. Of course, it's indicative here. Okay, with this you can manage. Say, so if you're looking at time management, some of you are concerned about time management. Time management is all about how well you know the concepts, how fast you write, and the words that you are using. If you do not know the concept well, your time management can go awry. If you do not write fast enough, it can be a problem. And word, do not cross the word limit under any circumstances. Okay, approximately this is the type of words you will try to write your answers within. So one of the solutions for time management is you have to memorize answers. I have been insisting on this from day one. You have to memorize answers. Okay. But a page, galaxy, page means one side. Okay. This is a sheet of paper. This is a sheet of paper. This paper has, okay, page 1 and page 2. Okay. There are 2 pages here. So when I say 2 pages, I basically mean side 1, which is side 1 here, and this is side 2. Okay. So one sheet is 2 pages. 10, 15, 20 marks. I repeat, 10, 15 mark question should be not more than 2 pages. 20, 25 marks question should not be more than 3 pages. Benefits of memorization, Shahenshah, is to write answers fast. If you can't write answers fast, you can never finish the paper. Okay. Yes, the model answers are longer. I know, Afsar. That is why you have to memorize them. And you have to also learn to, okay, manage the answer according to your needs. Model answer is under controlled conditions. Okay, they are under controlled conditions which have been written, rewritten. Those are indicative ones. So you decide how much you can memorize and you can write down. And that's why we have some extra words that you can replicate probably. So yes, we are providing. At the end of the discussions, I'll give you model answers for all the questions we have asked. So there are approximately 12 and 5, 17 questions. For 17 questions, I'm going to give you two answers each. There are 2 versions you will have. So all of you will receive model answers on your portal. You can download and memorize them. Okay. So that's more or less the basic idea about how to go about answer writing.